You ever hear about this guy Remus Lupin? He's a major character in a popular children's book series, and wouldn't you know it, the guy named Remus Lupin is a werewolf. Now you might think to yourself, oh yes, a family of werewolves named Lupin, and then of course they would name their child Remus because of tradition, as Remus was, like Romulus, raised by wolves. And it really does, it's a very clever thing that the author did, except of course, that isn't what the author did at all. No, this was just a family of wizards that happened to have the surname Lupin, and then they happened to name their child Remus, and then that child happened to get bitten by a werewolf. I feel like at that point it's really your own fault for having just rolled the dice on this. That is the real official canonical law version of what happened, and it's so fucking stupid. Like, there's coincidences and there's coincidences, you know what I'm saying? And you might say, because this is a very popular wagon to band on, oh no, that's just J.K. Rowling being a shit writer, but it really isn't. Most writers in every medium have a habit of just naming characters after especially mythological and historical figures that have some sort of superficial aesthetic connection with them. And the premise is that their parents named them this, and then later they became this thing, even though their parents gave them the name when they were a fucking child. Some people who were wrong will disagree with me on this, but I think Inception is a very good movie. As a matter of fact, I'll say it's one of the greatest movies of all time. But one thing that really pisses me off about that film is the character Ariadne. Specifically, the name of the character, Ariadne. If you don't remember, Ariadne is the architect of the team, so basically she designs these big labyrinths in the dream world to help the heist team not be shot at by the security systems of the dream. You know, like Ariadne was the goddess of the labyrinth in Greek mythology. Also, yes, I know the character was portrayed by Elliot Page, but the character is still female, even if the actor is not. I'm sorry, but how likely do you think is it that her parents would have picked out the precise name that would best suit her role in this one particular heist that she would do in a dream-stealing industry that they didn't even know was even a thing? It's pretty damn fucking slim, is what I'm trying to explain here. Now, of course, you could say that, oh, the fact that she's named Ariadne, that's very unrealistic, is evidence that actually the whole movie is a dream. And you know what? Fair enough if you really want to reach that hard. But it's not like this is an isolated incident. Everyone in Lost is named after some fucking philosopher or other. And it's especially grating that this gets lampshaded for one character when he gets a fake ID for a different philosopher, but not all of the other characters that are also named after philosophers. Max Payne is loaded with references to Norse mythology and just so happens to play like fucking Ragnarok. Even Cersei Lannister is a powerful woman who fucks up men really, really bad. Just like the wizard Cersei from Greek mythology. It doesn't really make sense. It's just there to break the fourth wall. And frankly, most of the time when I notice that kind of shit, it just breaks my suspension of disbelief. But hey, look, I'll be the first guy to admit that, like, seeing a lack of weird coincidences in fiction does the exact same thing to me. And it is true that Usain Bolt is quick as lightning and Bernie Madoff made off with a bunch of money in his Ponzi scheme. But let's be real here, the only reason those references are in there is to make you feel good about having an art history degree. Seriously, if it isn't specifically about mythology, it's just a reference. It's just making you go, oh, look at this. This is something that I recognize because I know culture. I am very intelligent and educated. And you know what? That's fine. It's fine if that's something that you enjoy in your art. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with it. Even to me, sometimes, occasionally, when I'm not too immersed in the work, it's kinda cool, I guess. What's not okay is to be someone who gets off on a completely meaningless mythology reference in some work of high art, but then complaining that Joss Whedon puts too many pop culture references in The Avengers. I'm sorry, but no. You do not get to do that. When somebody points at the decoy car scene in The Dark Knight Rises and goes, "This is a reference to the movie The Italian Job, which I have seen." Or when they hear the get item sound in Scott Pilgrim vs. The World, "This is a reference to The Legend of Zelda, which I have played." You don't get to be snobbish about it. You're that exact same guy. It's just that the references that you like are older than The Italian Job. The only difference between you and this guy is that you had a more privileged education, and that's not really a meaningful difference. When you notice people named after the brothers of Arthurian legend in the X-Files, that's also a completely meaningless pop culture reference to make Monkey Brain go, I see this, I recognize it. The fact that people who had a similar education to you and who have similar tastes to you consider these references somehow better than the others is completely arbitrary. It's not based on anything objective. It is pure snobbery. And if there is one thing I, the most snobbish man in this world, hate, it's snobbery. And pineapple on pizza. I really, really hate pineapple on pizza. It's so very unsophisticated. It is a crime against any good way of making pizza. Honestly, I think everyone who puts pineapple on pizza should be shot. Thank you very much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to your relevant communities, but do not spam them. Consider supporting me on Patreon or subscribe, start buying some of my merchandise or my short story collection. That was the exact wrong way around. I don't care. And in that spirit, really just generally, stop huffing your own farts. Stop doing it. It's disgusting. See you around, cunts.